In 1968, at the age of 13, I was sexually assaulted by Father Joseph Schuster.
Another survivor of alleged sexual abuse by a Buffalo Catholic priest is speaking out tonight. He is the latest to come forward after the diocese released a list of more than 40 accused priests earlier this month.
Father Joseph Schuster is not on that list, but the diocese does tell us that they are aware of these allegations. News 4's Jen Shantz is here with more. Jen?
Don, Mark Lynch called a press conference today at 3 o'clock on the steps of a local cathedral to share his story. 50 years after that alleged abuse, he's speaking out, something he says as a 13-year-old in a devout Irish Catholic family he couldn't do.
On Good Friday, when Christ hung on the cross, between the hours of 12 and 3, we respected 3 hours of silence. And at the 3 o'clock hour, we were able to break our silence.
This Good Friday, Mark Lynch broke his.
In 1968, at the age of 13, I was sexually assaulted by Father Joseph Schuster.
In the days after the Buffalo Diocese released a list of former priests accused of sexually abusing children, Lynch reached out to News 4 via email.
When that list came out, I was hungry to find his name on that list. And it was not on that list, and it was like I was punched in the gut, that for some reason that moment made me feel like I didn't count.
Aside from saying they are aware of these allegations, the diocese would not comment. However, a spokesperson has explained that deceased former priests were only listed if they had at least 2 allegations against them. Friday, Lynch was finally ready to speak publicly. As a 13-year-old in Niagara Falls, he says he was drawn to Father Schuster due to his activism in the anti-war movement. Lynch says they met while Schuster was serving at the Mount Carmel parish in Niagara Falls. After an event, he recalls it being too dark to ride his bike home. He says the priest invited him to stay over.
I'm sitting in the apartment, and I remember the color of the fabric of the furniture. I remember the smell of I'm very detailed about the memory of that. And I remember thinking I'll sleep on the couch.
He claims Schuster instructed him to share his bed.
I remember clinging to the edge of the bed all night long, probably did not sleep. And as soon as the daylight came, I got on my bicycle and rode to my house.
After the alleged assault, he saw Schuster often as a guest speaker at his school.
He haunted the classes. He haunted the hallways of that high school.
For decades, Lynch never said a word.
Speaking out about this at that young age was impossible. As a 13-year-old child, immediately I started to question, what did I do to invite this?
Now, after seeing other survivors come forward, he feels it's time to bring his pain out in the open so he can really start healing.
Father Joseph Schuster left the church in 1991 and he died in 2007. The diocese has set up a fund for victims. Lynch, who is no longer a practicing Catholic, says he's not interested in any money. He just wants other survivors to know they're not alone. Live in the studio, Jen Shantz, News 4 at 6.